morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Alifah. I'm so happy to be here. Just always a joy to connect with people that I've gotten to know and people that I've really grown to consider friends. And I know we were just sort of kindred spirits right away through Toastmasters. And Alifah, you are a Toastmaster. I know that. Along with so many other talents. And I'm so excited for what you have to share today, because I think what the world really, really needs, and I say this in very broad context, is more self-awareness. Yes.
Exactly.
And that
such
is
an honor to be here. Thank you.
It's my privilege. But again, having said that, self-awareness, statistics show that very few people even think about self-awareness. Mm-hmm. And I sure wish that I practiced that more intentionally, that I call it that pause, right? Where you reflect. We're going to get into all of that. Today I have the absolute privilege of interviewing Alifah Ahmad, sharing her with all of you. And Alifah is credentialed as a DISC consultant, and she's going to be talking more about what that means and what a useful tool that is, and sharing a little bit about her services. I like the words along with DISC. There's motivational and emotional intelligence person, right? And you're going to share with us what that means. But man, whether it is in a business or a marriage, my gut is if you are good at self-reflecting and self-awareness, you will probably thrive in no matter what environment you find yourself in.
Exactly right.
Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, before we go there, and I hope you all are excited to join us this morning and to listen to this, Alifah, I would love for you to share a little bit about your story. And a friend recently told me that our journey a lot of times determines our life work, and I feel that that's very true, particularly of you. And I know it is because we've had enough conversations and why you have such a heart for this business. So can you share with us a little bit your background and what brought you to this work?
Sure. Thank you, Karen. So I've been in business world for over 2 decades, mostly in a corporate world, both in Asia and in the United States. And I have worked in different capacity in different industry. And I observed that at the end of the day, what really matters is people, is ourselves, and also how we treat others. Successful businesses are the one who hire the right people, put the right people on the job, and also treat people right. Whether those people are their employees or clients or suppliers, whatever it might be.
Right.
And sometimes in business, I think we focus on numbers and profits, and we forget that our best assets are actually people.
Yes.
And having that understanding get me excited to learn more about that and using the tools so we can understand people and develop people and bring that to this community that we both love and speak with lovely professionals like yourself.
Yes.
And just focus really on self-development and people development.
Yeah, awesome. So you worked corporate, and now you're not corporate really anymore, right?
Right.
So what transitioned you is just what I hear you say is really what transitioned you was just that need to work with individuals then.
Yes, well, I founded This and Beyond early last year. I have to think about that. Like, when did I do that?
When you start doing that?
Push that button, launch that early last year. And my mission is really to help local business owners, small business owners, and professionals to really develop that potentials and understanding our strength, and also to deepen our relationship with each other. And that is, in my opinion, is the best way we grow.
Yeah, that is so true. So as we were preparing today, your kind of preparation sheet was so insightful, and I was like taking notes. But one of the things that you said that I thought was really profound was you said that we tend to judge others and fear the unknown. Can you expand on that a little bit? And I feel there's a personal part to that.
There's always personal.
Yes,
part to
it's
that,
always
right?
personal, right? Right, yeah.
Yes. We as human beings, we tend to be afraid of things that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's just us. We don't know, the number one fear is death because we don't know what that is.
That
we don't
is
know what
true.
happened after
That
that.
is true.
People are afraid of other people because they're different
Yes.
than us.
Yeah.
And it might be from something that we experience.
Mm-hmm.
I might be hurt by somebody who look like you,
Mhm.
not exactly look like you, but have that similar appearance
Right,
as you
right.
and leave that bad taste.
Mhm.
So the next time I see people who appear to look like you, then I shy away from that.
Right.
Or worse, I will attack.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, that's
So-
true. You can either withdraw or you can be aggressive towards them. Yeah.
Right. So that fear of the unknown, whether we just have a very small experience
Mhm.
or what we heard from our friends or
Right.
from the news or whatever
Yes.
it might be, can make us form that judgment.
Yeah.
Because the basic instinct is when we're afraid of something, then we guard ourselves,
Yes.
we protect ourselves,
Yes.
which is important.
Yeah.
But take a step back, like you said, we pause
Yes.
and we have to process that. Is this fear real
Right.
or is this fear just a mind trick?
Yeah.
And we pass that judgment quickly. So we need to just slow down a little bit and see, okay, is it really real that I need to be afraid of you?
Right.
Or is it just mind trick?
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's, you say mind trick, it's really your brain has kind of programmed itself that way. So you need to stop and think, is this rational? I've heard a quote that I really love is that fear is rarely a good strategy. Now, if a bear is chasing you, fear probably is a really good strategy,
Yes,
right?
run.
Yeah. Let that brain say yes and go.
Or play dead. I don't know. I'm not an expert
Exactly.
on that part.
Make yourself look big and roar, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and again, I'm imagining that culturally, just because you are from obviously a different culture than the majority of Americans, and obviously what we've experienced politically, I'm sure that's been challenging, but also good to overcome your own fears and then bring that knowledge and help to other people.
Yes, I always love it when people come to me, like you.
Yes,
We have
yeah.
coffee and we
Yeah.
sit down and ask questions.
Yeah.
Questions is good.
Yeah,
That
it is.
curiosity, we're human beings. When we were little, we were told, don't talk to strangers.
Yes.
But we're not little anymore. We're adult.
Yeah.
If we see other human being and we see, oh, we don't know what their experience is, what their journey is,
Right.
what their knowledge is, I can learn from them. I'm interested to hear their stories.
Yes.
I'm interested to connect
Yes.
rather than look at them and immediately pass judgment.
Yes.
Right? And that's how we build connection.
Yeah. And the beauty of that is, and I know when we first connected, there's this natural tendency to always be drawn to like. And it takes getting out of your comfort zone and saying, I want to find out about someone who's different. And I know I'm a Christian and you're a Muslim, and I'm like, wow, I don't have a lot of Muslim friends, and that takes thought and effort to go and reach out and overcome that. But that's your whole point, is that there's strength in differences, right?
Yes.
Isn't that
Yes.
pretty much? So self-awareness and emotional intelligence, why do they matter? What's the big deal?
Well, self-awareness is part of emotional intelligence. We are emotional creature.
Yes.
And when we don't have emotional intelligence or we lack of it, then we tend to, not really process that emotion and produce action that is productive, that is effective for relationship or to achieve results. And that can be time consuming, that can be damaging to relationship, that can create anxiety and stress and bad for our health.
Right.
But when we are able to, again, like you say, pause and process that information and respond instead of react.
Yes,
Because-
those are two big words, right?
Yes.
Right. Big
Yes.
difference between reactivity and thoughtfully responding.
Yes, because we all have the same emotion. We can be sad, we can be mad, and we can be glad, and all of that.
Right.
But then how we show that, how we express that emotion.
Right.
We both are married, right?
Yes.
Our husband, we have conflicts
Yes.
in
Yes.
marriage. And having that emotional intelligence allow us to really process the information, whatever our partner tell us, and absorb that content, not worry so much about the delivery of it,
Yes.
and reflect whether that is facts or not facts,
Right.
and understand that the other person also have emotion,
Yes.
and then respond
Yeah.
appropriately.
Yeah. One thing as you were talking that I was thinking that kept coming to mind is perspective. Because isn't self-awareness the recognition that we all come from different perspectives?
Yes.
And a lot of self-awareness is honoring my perspective, but also being comfortable with everybody's perspective is different, right? And that's what I
Yes.
find in a marriage too, right? And understanding, because you might see things one way,
Right.
and obviously so often our spouses see it different, rather than again making that adversarial, looking at it as a strength, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is so good. Okay, so why is emotional intelligence so difficult though?
Well, self-awareness and emotional intelligence is difficult because, emotional intelligence, part of it is also self-management, right? Self-control.
Yes.
It's that part when we just pause with the
Yes,
information.
yeah.
But it's difficult to be aware of ourselves. Let's put it this way. Physically, can you see everything on your body, Karen?
No. Maybe if I had a mirror and tried really hard, did some contortion stuff. I'm not sure I want to see everything on my body.
Well, we need lights, first of all, right?
Yes,
In the
yeah.
dark, we can't really see ourselves, even the
Right.
one that we normally
Right,
be able
right.
to see. We cannot see the back of our neck. We cannot
Right.
see our own ear.
Right.
When we go to hairstylists, they give us mirror on the front and
Yes.
mirror on the back to
Yes.
see the back of our
Right.
hair. So we need light, we need mirror, and then we see our picture and we're like, we look different.
Yeah.
Right? So we need tools. We need tools that's objective, that's
Yes.
provide us with that information, that
Yeah.
data. And we also need non-bias information,
Yes.
right? Because we see ourselves like, I think I look this way, and I look at the mirror like, oh, good God, I don't look that way. Or
Yeah.
I think this is like, I feel really tall, and I look at the picture and I'm like, I am not tall at all. Look at me standing next to this person.
Right.
So we have our own perception
Right.
and our own bias. So having that information, having these tools that these wonderful scientists and psychologists created for us is really helpful
Really.
to bring that awareness. Just
Right.
like our physical, we need to be aware of our emotion, our behaviors, our pattern.
Yeah. Which is a great segue into talk to us about DISC. Tell us a little bit what that is and how that works.
This is a tool that is very universal. It is popular because it is simple. It looks at observable behaviors and expressed emotion and just systematically classify it into 4 styles, the DISC.
Okay.
And it's based on the directness, whether you are like assertive.
Okay. That's D, direct.
Yes,
Okay.
D, direct, assertive, and I also direct. And the pace of it, whether you are quick in making decision in conversation, or slower in making decision because either you need information or personal assurance. And it's also based whether you are more open, a people person, or more task or result oriented people.
Okay.
And even though every human being is unique, just
Yes.
like our thumbprint,
Yes.
but these smart people have been able to classify our behavior pattern and put this into this 4 simple category.
Okay.
And the majority of us are combination of
I would
2
imagine,
or 3
yeah.
of these styles.
So D is direct. What is I?
Well, it can be called direct or doer or dominant.
Okay.
I is influence, S
Okay.
is steady or supporter, and C is compliance or conscientious. They're focused more
Okay.
on the procedures and policy and rules.
Okay, so most people you said are combination. So give us an
Yes.
example, like what are you?
What am I?
Yes.
Well, I'm revealing the secret here.
You didn't know that was on the questions, did you?
That was not the question. That's okay. I am actually a combination of C, S, and I. I'm a
Okay.
combination of 3 style.
Okay.
And when we have those combination, we still have the core style.
Okay.
Is the more, without saying the D word, the dominant
Yeah.
word, that is the dominant one. That's our go-to. So the C is my core style, and the S is the secondary, and
Okay.
the I is influencer.
Okay.
So on my core style, I'm more focused on the process and the rule and the procedure, and
Okay.
I'm slow in making decision. I'm
Okay.
worried about doing things the right way
Right.
and doing it right.
Right.
And next to that is the supporter part of it. Also slow in decision, and you need to make sure that my team and my environment are okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the I part is the friendly part that
Right.
can be outgoing and like to be around
Right.
people and excited.
Interesting.
Yes.
I'm curious, and again, I know I'm deviating here a little bit, but I'm actually reading a book called The Confidence Code, and highly recommend it to our audience. And it's why women in general tend to, I wouldn't say lack confidence, but they don't exhibit the outward signs of confidence so much. And what you just said about having all your ducks in a row is very much a feminine trait. And they talked even about high-level executives, these women that just are head of companies, they over-prepare.
Mm-hmm.
So whole nother conversation, I know, and I know that's a bit of a tangent, but yeah, interesting. I wonder if kind of the disc falls, if there's patterns that fall along male-female lines. I would imagine there could
Well, they don't study, or the report itself does not put gender into it.
Yeah.
So let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people who study that,
Yeah.
but the report itself does not ask you about your gender,
be. Right,
does not consider that as part of it.
right,
Probably there are more women that's more certain styles,
Yeah.
and more male at
Yeah.
certain styles. And having that information, knowing
right.
that, okay, if I am a high C, I tend to be a perfectionist maybe, or
Yes.
taking a long time,
Yeah,
then I have to look, okay, is this helping me toward my goal,
right.
or is this taking me away from my goal? And that's where it can ignite change in me.
So that really is, and that's actually what the practical part of DISC is. So just because you fall in one of those categories, that self-reflection, you can stop and ask yourself, is this serving me? Isn't this serving me? How can I change this?
Yes.
Yeah, which again, it's all about fluidity and change, right?
Yes.
And growing. That's what self-awareness is about.
Yes.
So what I'm really hearing you say is that really knowing ourselves and coming from the vantage point that we're all different helps us in so many of our relationships. We talked a little bit about marriage. So can you talk to us, because I know you do corporate consulting. How would this DISC assessment work in a corporate setting?
Oh, again, everybody is different. The leader versus the team, right? The staff itself. And that there is a saying that people join company for the company's reputation,
Right.
and people quit their bosses.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah.
There's that saying.
All
And-
you bosses out there, listen in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really true, because when we think that everybody wants to be treated the way, when we use the golden rule for
Yeah.
treatment for communication, that doesn't really work. The golden rule works because we all have the basic needs. We want to be heard. We
Yes.
want to be seen. We want
Right.
to be validated, trusted, respected,
Right.
all of that basic. But we have different motivation. We have different drive.
Right.
We have a different way in making a decision.
Right.
We need different information. We take different time limit.
Right.
So when a leader and a team leader and a CEO understand all of this, then they can approach that person or each of their staff as an individual.
Yes.
and motivate them and
Right.
coach them. You know, first put them in the right place,
Right.
because put them in where their strengths are,
Right.
and then treat them as a human being,
Right.
you know, with all the unique characteristics that they
Right.
have.
What a wonderful tool. I mean, how
Yes.
empowering that is for a boss, because ultimately we all want the same thing, is what
Yes.
you're saying. And if you have an emotionally intelligent boss who knows how to work with the staff instead of losing staff all the time, what a
Right.
tremendous asset.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it saves a lot of money too.
Yeah, I was going to say, rather than having to retrain people over
Yes.
and over and over again. And in fact, you were telling me prior to this that you're actually working with a company in their hiring procedures, right? That this is really critical, even to kind of assess people before they're even hired, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so that when you either, it'll help you to decide to hire them, but also to help them once they're in, to really understand them.
Yes.
Really, really interesting. Okay, so I love one of the sentences that you shared with me, and that was human, okay, we're gonna put that in quotes, is the best asset in any business. And I found that really, really interesting, because as a society, I feel, whether it's through artificial intelligence, whether it's through technology, you know, if you think about technology in general, what it does is it performs human tasks minus the human element, right? In the name of, quote, efficiency. So talk to me a little bit about that whole concept. You know, if human is the best quality, why are we as a society moving away from the human part, and is that good? So what are your comments on that?
Well, you're just poking on the engineer part of me.
Yes, I forgot.
That's part of my background of
Yeah.
it. Technology, we can look at it from, you know, different perspectives.
Right,
Again, different
right.
perspective. I see it as a tool, and it's created by human. So
Yes.
it really depends who created and what's the intention of creation of
Yes.
that technology.
Yeah.
We started so small with calculator. We
That's
used
true.
to just
That's
we used
true.
to just calculate, and it does save time.
Yes.
Right? It's efficient. It doesn't take us out of
Right.
a job, but it does save us our time.
Right.
And also, it depends on the big bosses, the CEO,
Yeah.
who has the organization. How are they going to use this artificial intelligence and technology?
Right.
Is it going to be used as a tool to help their workforce,
Right.
the human workforce, to be more productive and efficient?
Right.
Or is it going to be used as a tool to replace the workforce?
Right, which we are seeing that. I mean, there are a lot of industries that probably won't be here in 20 years. I mean, that is the reality, right?
That is the reality.
Yeah.
I see it as an opportunity because artificial intelligence is created by human.
Yeah.
So we are better than artificial
Yeah.
intelligence. We are better than any computer out there.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for us to develop other skills,
Right.
the human skills,
Right.
that is not replaceable
Right.
by any machine for that
Right.
matters. So that's an opportunity to grow and use this artificial intelligence to our advantage.
Right.
And
Yes.
bosses who have that self-awareness
Yes.
will use it that way, who believe that human is the best asset, will use it that way.
So really what I hear you saying is, yes, we can replace tasks, but being human, that emotional part, I mean, how can you program a computer to be intuitive or to read emotions or to, that's a much more difficult thing. And ultimately that's really what defines us as humans, right? Is
Yes.
those relational pieces. So
Yes.
Yeah, and
We have incredible potentials. We
Yeah.
just haven't tapped into
yes, that,
most of them.
yes.
I know I haven't.
That is so true, and I think it's like I think if anything, are recognizing how little we actually know, right?
Yes.
So we could just, I know I could just go on and on and on about
I
this,
can
but
talk
I
to you
won't.
forever.
Yeah, I won't continue to digress for the sake of our audience, and I sure hope you guys are all enjoying this conversation. But as we were planning this interview, you said that you were preparing a special offer to share with our listeners. So can you share with us what do you have for us?
Yes, well, thank you. Well, I do, as you mentioned, I do consultation for individual and for group on DIS and motivators and emotional intelligence, include the personalized report that's for this, for example, is over 30 pages of it.
Wow.
And 60 to 90 minutes consultation. And anybody who mentioned Beauty Matters and this interview, up to February 28th, that's about a month, right? Will get 20% discount. Well, the first 5 people will get 20% discount by mentioning Beauty Matters in this interview.
Now, Alifah, is there a link to that, or how can people actually take advantage? What's the best way to get in touch with you? Because we'll post that up above the interview.
Okay, great. Yes, I have a website. It's called thisandbeyond.com. I also have a Facebook page, my personal Facebook page and business Facebook page.
Which you will want to join those anyway,
Yes, and we also have seminars and workshop in the community here in the area that you can certainly join.
So that will be posted on the Facebook page as ongoing. Okay,
Yes.
so we'll post all those things for your information. And then are there other resources just in general that you recommend for people to continue to learn and benefit from this work?
Yes, read a lot of books on, attend the self-awareness seminar, read books about people behaviors and emotional intelligence, and about habits, very important. We have a lot of group in the area that's also, having this monthly or regular educational program.
And Alifah, I invite you, because you were my guest, if you have any of those things, feel free to post them on Beauty Matters as well, because I really want to get more information out there for the work that you do, and we want to grow our audience here. So so anything, if there's a monthly event or whatever, I just totally invite you to post on there and go ahead and write it out, and then I'll just approve it and add it on there.
Okay,
so,
we'll do that. Also, if you go to my website, you can sign up for my newsletter, and I send out weekly tips, inspirational and tips, so you can be more aware of our own behaviors and patterns and other people, so we can adapt.
Awesome, that is great. Well, what a wonderful conversation. Like I said, I could just sit here and go on and digress into all kinds of tangents, which I won't subject you to. But can you leave us with a few final thoughts? And maybe if you do have a favorite quote, leave us with that as well.
Yes, Karen. All of this is about human connections and about growth, right? We want today to be better than yesterday and tomorrow to be better than today. And it all starts with self-awareness, which remind me of Sheryl Sandberg's quote, one of my favorites.
Yes, I love Sheryl Sandberg.
Yes. She said that we cannot change unless we're aware, and once we are aware, we cannot help but change.
That is so good, and what a wonderful words to ponder and think on as we say goodbye to all of you. And thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you.